Building goodwill is essential for a freelancer. And here's one way I did it this week. I'm learning to thrive in the gig economy. Would you like to learn too? I told you last week about how this one marketing person wanted me to take on a freelance assignment that actually was going to be a lot more work than I really wanted to do. It was going to be one post a week. And I didn't feel like I really wanted to take that on. It felt like a part-time job. But what I followed up with that, though, is I reached out to a couple of people that I know in the industry. And I said, hey, anybody interested in this kind of freelance assignment, let me know. And a woman that I dealt with a few years ago on another website, and I talked. And even though she hadn't really done exactly the type of work the marketing woman wanted, as far as the subject is concerned, she's a veteran freelancer, and I'm sure she could do the work. So I referred her to the marketing woman. I called the marketing woman and I said, hey, I've got this freelancer. She might be able to solve your problem. I haven't heard back yet whether or not they're going to work together. There's money to talk about. There's personalities, things like that. But what I did by doing this, and it only took a few minutes, is I built goodwill with the marketing woman, because even though I wasn't going to do the work, I offered a possible solution to what she needed. And I built goodwill with a freelancer who, somewhere down the road, she may get an offer that she's not interested in, but she might pass it over to me. And, here's where I get a little metaphysical about these types of references and passing things along, is literally the day after I did this, unsolicited email from an editor that I'd worked with a few years ago on a project. Hey, Bruce, I hope you don't mind, but I know this guy. He's looking for a freelance editor for a startup, and I gave him your name and email, and hopefully you might be able to work something out with him. Completely out of the blue. The day after I referred a freelancer to somebody. Now, it's coincidence, sure, but I can't help but feel that once you start doing these types of references for people, and people hear about you doing references and reaching out and helping people, it comes back. It comes back to you. It's just the way the universe works. And this is why I've always been able to get by with just word of mouth. I don't really have to go knocking on the door begging for work, because it's all been word of mouth. And part of it is because I do refer people. I do recommend people when necessary or when I can't do the work, and I think it comes back. Do you have that in your freelance work? Do you do those kinds of references? Do you do those recommendations so that you can get that goodwill, build that goodwill with everybody, and hopefully become a little bit more networked, a little bit more in the know, a little bit more that people are reaching out to you to do the work because they know that you've been reaching out and helping them down the road? I'd really be curious what sort of experience you have with these kinds of references and recommendations, because I really think it's a big help for me. And one thing that I always do, and I always recommend, is that if you do get a reference from somebody and you reach out to that person and it doesn't work out, or it works out one way or the other, go back to the person who referred you and let them know, either yes or no, but regardless, tell them that you really appreciate the fact that they gave your name to somebody. Just that little bit of extra work, that little reach out, thank you, email, pays dividends in the long run. It really does. Anyway, I'd be curious to hear what you think about this kind of referrals and building a network, building goodwill. I think it's essential for a freelancer, but maybe you've got a different idea. I don't know. Put some comments down below. I'd really appreciate hearing about them. And please hit the like and share button, because I do think this is useful information for people. And subscribe because YouTube likes that. And until next week, take care.